Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affairs of 29th of June 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss very important and the most important current affair. So watch this video till last. I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. Guys, you can download our application name is Careers Cloud and its link is given in the description box. You can log in with your email ID, and after login you can click on this crack current affair section for 1 year as well as for 2 year. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see the price, you will definitely surprise. But the most important thing that we are covering 90 to 95% of those current affairs which are coming in your exam. This is the genuinity. This is the hard work of Affairs Cloud team. But how we are covering these type of current affairs? We are providing you daily current affair section. In this section, you will receive three things. One is detailed current affair, question and answer format, and the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on daily basis. Next is the weekly section. Again, you will receive three things. One is detail, second is the question and answer format, and third is the quiz section which you can attempt on our application on weekly basis. Most important section is the monthly, and we are providing four type of PDFs. One is detailed current affairs, second is question and answer format of current affair, third is the best 100 current affairs, that is also provided in the form of question and answer, and last is the pocket PDF. It means the 2-liners and the 3-liners current affair will be provided to you so that you can revise these current affairs before your exam in the quick format. Guys, we are also providing some topic-wise current affairs so that you can enhance your performance according to the topic-wise PDFs. And we are covering 20 most important topics which are very important for every type of exam. It means if you want to revise all the current affairs related to just one topic, you have to pick these type of PDFs. If you are a banking aspirant, then we are providing three things. One is detail and the question and answer format only related to banking and economy. And third is the basically quiz section which you can attempt on our application on monthly basis. And friends, if you want to revise all the past current affairs just from single PDF, then you can pick this exam PDF. We are also providing budget and economic survey. Detail will be provided, and also expected question and answer PDF will be provided so that you can know that how examiner can frame the question between budget and economic survey. We are also providing state current affairs. If you are preparing for your state exam, then this section will help you. And guys, we are covering every state and union territory. So there is no different subscription. We are covering all these things under one subscription. You have to just download our application Careers Cloud. You have to log in with your email ID, and you can click on this crack current affair section, and you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. Both the subscription prices are very much low. If you see, you will definitely surprise, and on that minimal price we are providing 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And if you have any query, you can email us on this email ID and you can contact us on this number. So let's begin today's session, that is 29th of June 2021. But I have to request you that you have to like this video, you have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, please join our Telegram group for further notification, and link is given in the description box. So here is the most important question section, and here is first question. Who is appointed as Central Vigilance Commissioner? So most important question, I am talking about CVC. In the keyword you can remember CVC. So answer of this question is Suresh N. Patel. Earlier this position was with Sanjay Kothari. It means if the examiner is asking about the former Central Vigilance Commissioner, then answer is Sanjay Kothari. If the examiner is talking about new Central Vigilance Commissioner, it is Suresh N. Patel. But remember, this Suresh N. Patel was appointed on the temporary basis. It means he is appointed as the acting Central Vigilance Commissioner with effect from the 24th of June 2021 until the appointment of the you can say the permanent Central Vigilance Commissioner, and he will succeed the Sanjay Kothari, whose term ended on the 23rd of June 2021. And Suresh N. Patel is currently serving as the one of the Vigilance Commissioner in the Central Vigilance Commission, and prior to this he served as the Managing Director and CEO of the Andhra Bank in 2015. But don't remember about the information of Suresh N. Patel. Remember, he was appointed on the acting basis. And Central Vigilance Commission, the commission is headed by the Central Vigilance Commissioner and can have a maximum of 2 vigilance commissioner, as same as the chief election commissioner and the other commissioner, or you can say the election commission. And this body was formed in 1964, and it is a non-constitutional body. Remember, there is no article in the constitution about Central Vigilance Commissioner, but you have to remember it is a non-constitutional body. Its headquarters is in New Delhi. So you can see here the picture of Suresh N. Patel, who was appointed as acting Chief Vigilance Commissioner. Acting. And other appointments here are very important, especially for the, you can say the SBI exam. You can see first appointment is Jos J. Khatur. Remember, this person was recently appointed as Executive Director of RBI, one of the Executive Director of RBI. Minesh Shah. Yesterday we discussed this question that he was appointed as Chairman of National Dairy Development Board. Earlier, this position lies with the Varsha Joshi, but now the additional charge given to Minesh Shah. So you have to remember these appointments. These are very, very important. Now we are moving to the next question. Who won the Outstanding Civil Engineering Achievement Award for the year of 2020? First of all, you have to remember this award is given by which organization? This award is given by Japan Society of Civil Engineering, or JSCE. Remember, Japan Society of Civil Engineers. And this award, Outstanding Civil Engineering Achievement Award for 2020, goes to Delhi Metro. The Delhi Metro project was termed as High Quality Infrastructure Development Project by Japan Society of Civil Engineers. And you can see here, this is Delhi Metro. Delhi Metro backs Japan Society of Civil Engineers Award. Examiner can ask this award also, Japan Society of Civil Engineer Award of 2020. This can be asked. So remember this. And this Delhi Metro recognized for bringing awareness of safety and efficiency at the construction sites and providing safe and comfortable transportation for the residents. And this organization also awarded for high quality infrastructure development. So you have to remember just the Delhi Metro, and why this award given to Delhi Metro. It is for providing, or you can say creating awareness of safety and efficiency at the construction sites in India. Now we can move to the next question. And remember, this award is given by Japan Society of Civil Engineers. Next question is, which airport has won the Role of Excellence honor in airport service quality for 2021? So the most important keyword under this question is this Role of Excellence honor, and this is given by Airport, or you can say Airport Council International, or ACI. And this is for the airport service quality, and this award goes to Cochin International Airport Limited. And you can see here Cochin International Airport, very beautiful airport you can see here, and wins honor in the airport service quality. Remember the keyword, Role of Excellence honor in the airport service quality. And you can see here Airport Council International Director General's Role of Excellence honor. This is the full name of award, and remember this award is given by Airport Council International. And this airport became one of the 6 airports worldwide that received this recognition in 2021. But you don't have to remember the other 5 airports, just remember it is Cochin International Airport Limited. And why this airport received this award? It is for its consistent excellence in the customer service. And remember, this airport, Cochin International Airport Limited, had consecutively won 5 airport service quality awards over the past 5 years. It means last 5 years they are basically winning these type of awards related to the airport service quality. So remember, it is Cochin International Airport Limited. And you can also remember about this organization, that is ACI, Airport Council International. It was established in 1991. It is the only global trade representative of the world's airport, and its headquarters is in the Montreal, Canada. So remember, headquarters is in Montreal, Canada. Don't remember the head of this organization, just remember the headquarters and when it was established. And guys, these options are again very important, like Delhi International Airport and GMR Hyderabad International Airport. Both are very important because recently Delhi International Airport was awarded with platinum. Remember, platinum recognition in the over 25 million passengers per annum category. And this GMR Hyderabad International Airport received the gold recognition in the below 25 million passenger per annum category. And both the recognitions are basically awarded by same organization, that is known as Airport Council International. So remember this also. Moving to next question. Who became the chairperson of the 3-member task force formed to help the government in bringing major bureaucratic reforms through Mission Karmyogi. So the most important thing here is the Mission Karmyogi, and next it is a 3-member task force which is created by the central government to bringing the major changes in the bureaucratic system. So answer of this question is SD Shibu Lal. Why we are covering this question in the most important section? Because of Mission Karmyogi. SD Shibu Lal. You can see here the picture of SD Shibu Lal, former Infosys Chief Executive Officer, SD Shibu Lal, to head task force of the bureaucratic reforms. The keyword here is the bureaucratic reforms. But you can also remember, what is this Mission Karmyogi? It is a center government national program for civil services capacity building. It aims to upgrade the post-recruitment training mechanism of the civil servants at all levels of the transforming rule-based training to role-based capacity development in order to enhance citizen experience for the government services. So this is Mission Karmyogi. So now why this task force was established? It will make recommendations on organizational structure for the, you can say, the special purpose vehicle which was established for the Mission Karmyogi. The task force is free to constitute working groups, co-opt additional members, experts, invitees, and can consult relevant national and the international leaders for this purpose. So it will definitely change some bureaucratic system and also provide some capacity building in the civil services. So SD Shibu Lal. But other, you can say, Usha Throat is there. This is again very important appointment and very important committee. She is heading 20-member advisory committee on the mutual funds. Which was basically formed by Reserve Bank of India. Arun Goyal, he was heading the 22-member internal ministerial committee to strengthen the capital goods sector, and it is formed by Ministry of Heavy Industry. Next is Dr. V.K. Paul. This committee was formed by Niti Aayog, and the name of this committee is the Expert Committee on Vaccine Administration. So two are very important. Usha Throat, very important because it is created by RB and it is for the mutual funds, strengthen the capacity of the mutual funds. And next is VK Paul, it is by the Niti Aayog and it is for the vaccine administration. Remember these, very important. Moving to next question. Who became the first ever transgender athlete picked to compete at an Olympics? So just remember the question as in slide. Examiner can not ask anything beyond this, and answer of this question is Laurel Hubbard. So remember, this player belongs to which country? New Zealand. So you can also remember the name of the country. New Zealand Laurel Hubbard has become the first ever transgender athlete picked to compete at an Olympics. She will compete in the women's category of 87 kg weightlifting category for Tokyo Olympics 2020. It is for the Tokyo Olympics 2020. And Hubbard has satisfied the International Olympic Committee requirements for the trans women, because those who transition from the female to male are eligible to compete in the male category without any restriction. This is also told by the International Olympic Committee. So remember, as the question in the slide, like Laurel Hubbard belongs to New Zealand, become the first transgender athlete to pick to compete at the Olympics, Tokyo Olympics 2020. Now we are moving to the next section. It is an important question section, guys. You have to like this video, share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you are new on this platform. And guys, join our Telegram group from the description box link. Here is the first question. Which state inaugurated India's first Fenton catalytic reactor wastewater treatment plant? So the most important keyword under this question, first Fenton catalytic reactor, and it is for the wastewater treatment. And this state government is Gujarat. You can see here this Fenton catalytic wastewater plant, and it looks like this, and it is inaugurated by Chief Minister of Gujarat, Vijay Rupani. You can see here, India's first Fenton catalytic reactor wastewater treatment plant was established. Exact place is Ahmedabad. If you belongs to Gujarat, then examiner can ask this place. And it is set up by the Green Environment Services Cooperative Society Limited. If you want to remember, then remember. Otherwise, you can skip that which organization established this. And total cost of this project is 70 crore rupees. 70 crore. It has a capacity of 30 million liters per day. So it is a huge capacity, and according to this capacity, the plant will cater the needs of at least 700 industrial units. And with this, all will become 100% compliant to the efficient discharge norms of the Gujarat Pollution Control Board. At present, Gujarat has 35 common effluent treatment plants, which have the capacity to treat 750 million liters of industrial wastewater per day. And the government plans to set up further 19 common effluent treatment plants in future. structure so that maximum to maximum industries can be take care. And this only plant, this you can say the Fenton catalytic reactor wastewater treatment plant will cater the needs of 700 industrial units at least. And remember about Gujarat. Gujarat Chief Minister is Vijay Rupani and the Governor is Acharya Devrat. Capital is Gandhinagar. But you can also remember very important national parks. 4 national parks are very, very important in Gujarat. One is Black Buck National Park. Next is Gir Forest, very famous. Marine National Park, also in Gujarat, and Vansada National Park. So these 4 are very, very important in Gujarat. Moving to next question. NTPC unveiled its target to install how much of renewable energy capacity by the 2032. You know the Indian government target 175 gigawatt of renewable energy by the year of 2022 and 450 gigawatt by the end of 2030. But now we are talking about only one company, that is National Thermal Power Corporation, and they set a target to install how much renewable energy by the year of 2032. And answer of this question is 60 gigawatt. And you can also remember that 60 gigawatt should be from solar and wind only. Solar and wind only. So you can remember this. And you can see here NTPC targets 60 gigawatt renewable energy capacity by the year of 2032. And it is India's first energy company to declare energy compact goals as a part of HLDE 2021. We yesterday covered this high level dialogue on energy efficiency by the United Nations, which India co-hosted, and under this platform, India is the first energy company NTPC to declare energy compact goals as a 60 gigawatt, and this will also cover the India's target of 175 gigawatt and the 450 gigawatt definitely. And NTPC will invest 1 trillion INR between 2019 to 2024 to become a 130 gigawatt power producer by the 2032. Total capacity will be 130 gigawatt, and out of 130 gigawatt, 60 gigawatt should be from renewable energy sources. And NTPC will form 2 international alliances to facilitate clean energy research and promote sustainability in the energy value chain by the 2025. And NTPC is a fully owned subsidiary of NTPC Renewable Energy, had set up a capacity target of 32 gigawatt by the 2032, which constitute 25% of overall power generation capacity when it was formed in 2020. This was the initial target of the NTPC, but now they increased to 60 gigawatt. Earlier they targeted to 32 gigawatt. So recently NTPC Limited signed an MOU with the Indian Institute of Forest and Management, Bhopal, for implementation of Narmada Landscape Restoration Project. You have to just remember, if you belongs to the Madhya Pradesh area, that NTPC signed the agreement with Indian Institute of Forest, which is situated in Bhopal, for the implementation of Narmada Landscape Restoration Project. And you can also remember recent related news about the NTPC, that NTPC has been recognized as a great place to work. Remember, great place to work for the 15th year in a row by the Great Place to Work Institute. So you can also remember this. So remember this company, this is very important, and the target is 60 gigawatt. Earlier when it was established, the target was 32 gigawatt. Now we are moving to next question. World Bank has sanctioned a fund of rupees almost 1800 crore to which state for supporting the implementation of SALT program? If you know the meaning of this SALT, then you can give the answer. So I am telling you the abbreviation, then you can give the answer. S stands for sporting, A stands for Andhra, L stands for learning, T stands for transformation. So it means sporting, Andhra, learning, transformation. So it means it is for the Andhra Pradesh. You can see here, World Bank gives note for almost 1800 crore rupees for a loan for implementation of the SALT program in the Andhra Pradesh. So you can see here, it is for supporting Andhra learning transformation, and its main objective is to transform the state government schools into a vibrant and competitive one by improving their quality of teaching practices, learning outcomes, and school management in the basic education. And guys, remember, it is a 5-year project, and it will be implemented from the academic year of 2021 to 22 to 26-27. It means the 5-year will be completed here. And the other important initiatives under this program include curriculum reforms, improved classroom practices, professional development of teachers, new digital learning practices can be initiated. So this all comes under the Sport Andhra learning transformation. It means the learning experience can be enhanced. And recently, Manabadi Nadu Nedu initiative also started by the Andhra Pradesh. It is to improve the infrastructure facility of the state government schools. And this project was also started in 2019-20, and this project is for the 3 years. It is just to improve the infrastructure facility of the state government school, like Delhi government also improving the infrastructure of the state government or the UT government schools, and Andhra Pradesh is also now improving under this program, which is known as Man Badi Nadu Nedu. My pronunciation can be wrong, but you can understand according to this writing. And the World Bank is assisting this. So World Bank is important here. World Bank, you can say World Bank group consists of 5 organizations. 5 organization means I am talking about the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, IBRD, IDA, International Development Agency, and the International Finance Corporation, IFC is there. The Multilateral Investment Guarantee Agency, MIGA, is also there. The International Center for Settlement and Investment Dispute is also there. So remember about World Bank or the International Bank for Reconstruction and Development. It was established in 1944. Headquarters in Washington, DC, and total member countries are 189, and head of this organization is David Malpass. So you can remember it is assisted by World Bank with a capacity of 1860 crore rupees. Now we are moving to next question, but you have to remember about Andhra Pradesh. Chief Minister of Andhra Pradesh, very famous personality, Y.S. Jagan Mohan Reddy, very famous for his schemes, and Governor is Vishwa Bhushan Harichandan. Vishwa Bhushan Harichandan. And remember the national parks, 3 very important national parks are situated in Andhra Pradesh. One is Papi Konda National Park. Papi Konda National Park, Rajiv Gandhi National Park, also known as the Rameshwaram National Park. Next is Shri Venkateshwara National Park. So 3 are very important in Andhra Pradesh. Moving to next question. ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel and which bank executed India's first digitized bill discounting transaction? So this question is for the banking students, and you have to remember the name of the company ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel and the name of the bank. Name of the bank is ICICI. So it is end-to-end electronic transaction which was held between the seller and the buyer. And seller company is ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel and the buyer company is Vijay Tanks. Vijay Tanks. The name is not mentioned here, but you can remember seller company is this AMNS or ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel, and the buyer company is Vijay Tanks, and ICICI Bank as an intermediary between the buyer and the seller. And you can see here this ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India executes paperless bill discounting transaction in partnership with the ICICI Bank, and it is with the Vijay Tanks. You can remember this. And it includes the digital issuance of the letter of credit, advisory, and the presentation of documents. And ICICI Bank branch in Baroda, Gujarat issued an letter of credit for the buyer Vijay Tanks, while its branch at Hazira, Gujarat advised and negotiated at the sellers ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel. And ArcelorMittal Nippon Steel India was acquired to present the documents digitally. And all the documents which will be presented digitally, which will be given to ICICI Bank, evidencing the transaction flow. And the transaction is done through the blockchain technology, which is more robust in the security, identity and the transparency. And the digital transactions overcome the problem that are held under the paper-based trades, in which physical goods at times arrive before the sporting documents, and leading to corporate anchoring, you can say, demurrage charges, and it also enable greater velocity of trades at a lower cost. And recently ICICI Bank has launched a facility for linking a unified payment interface ID with its digital wallet, which is known as Pockets. And this ICICI Bank digital wallet became the first one in the industry to link e-wallet with the UPI network. This question we covered in the most important section. And remember the name of this wallet is Pockets, and it is linked with the ICICI Bank. And remember about ICICI Bank here. ICICI was established in 1955. But it was incorporated in 1994. Its headquarters is in Mumbai. MD and CEO is Sandeep Bakshi, and tagline is Hum Hai Na Khayal Aapka. Hum Hai Na Khayal Aapka. Moving to next question. A book titled Anomalies in Law and Justice, authored by whom? So this book is very important because this book is released by current Chief Justice of India, Justice N.V. Ramana. And this book named is Anomalies in Laws and Justice, and it is written by former Judge of the Supreme Court, R.V. Ravindran. So answer of this question is B. You can see here the cover page of this book, R.V. Ravindran photo here, and Anomalies in Law and Justice, writings related to law and justice. And this book is based on evolving legal system of India. It explains various deficiencies in the law law which are required to be overcome so that the common man does not lose faith in the judiciary and the legal system. And the book is divided into basically two chapters. The first part is addressed to the common man along with the judges and the lawyers, and the second part is specifically addressed the lawyers and the judges. So one is for the common man, second is for the lawyers and the judges. And you can also remember about R.V. Ravindran. He was the former judge of the Supreme Court of India, but this book is released by current Chief Justice of India, N.V. Ramana. So remember this. But other books here are very, very important. Like you can see here, first name is very important. Meghan Markle is here. She wrote very famous book, and this book is her debut book. The name of this book is The Bench. The Bench. Next is Vikram Sammat. This book related to V.D. Savarkar, and the book name is Savarkar, The Contested Legacy. The two books volume. One is from the birth date of V.D. Savarkar to the 1924, and second is from 1924 to 66 when he died. So it is related to Savarkar. Next is Parchand Pravir. He wrote a book about the cinema through Ras. Remember, cinema through Ras, the tryst with masterpiece in the light of the Ras Siddhanta. But you don't have to remember, just remember cinema with Ras. So moving to next question. DRDO successfully test fired the nuclear capable Agni P or the Agni Prime missile. This is dash. So this is surface to surface missile. You have to remember Agni Prime or the Agni P missile. Earlier you have read about the Agni missiles like Agni 1, Agni 2 to Agni 6. But now we are discussing about a new type of missile which is known as Agni Prime. And it is successfully test fired by DRDO, and it is also developed by DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. So DRDO successfully test fired Agni Prime missile. So Agni Prime is a new generation advanced variant of the Agni class of missiles. And what is the range of this missile? This range is 1000 to 2000 kilometer. 1000 to 2000 kilometer. It means it lies between Agni 1 and Agni 2, Agni P. So because the range is 1000 to 2000 kilometer, and the missile has been designed and developed by DRDO. And you can also remember the Strategic Forces Command, or you can say SFC, which is a part of India's nuclear command, is responsible for the management and administration of India's tactical and the strategic nuclear weapons stockpile. And Agni is a family of medium to intercontinental range ballistic missile developed by the DRDO. So remember, Agni 1 range, you have to remember Agni 2, 2000 to 3000, Agni 3, 3000 to 5000, and so on. So till date we experimented Agni 6 missiles, but now it is a new series that is known as Agni Prime. So remember about DRDO. DRDO headquarters is in New Delhi, and its head is G. Satish Reddy. G. Satish Reddy. Moving to next question. Which card provider company partnered with InstaMojo to digitalize and empower MSMEs and gig workers? So here new word here, gig worker, and remember this company name is InstaMojo. InstaMojo is basically a full stack digital solution provider company, and they are partnering with one of the card providing company to digitalize and empower the MSME and the gig workers. What are the gig workers? Gig workers are basically like independent contractors, online platform workers, contract firm workers, on-call workers, temporary workers. These are known as the gig workers, and this card provider company is MasterCard here. So remember, answer of this question is C. And you can see here MasterCard partner with the InstaMojo to help MSMEs and gig workers. And you can see here it will support the MSMEs to get digitized by setting up of online stores on the, you can say, InstaMojo platform, and it will provide a fully functional online store within built shipping capabilities. It means InstaMojo, which is a full stack digital solution provider for the MSMEs, it offers a ready-made virtual online selling platform for the small medium industries to set up an e-commerce business and accept digital payments following a fast and easy onboarding process. It means you can open the digital store and you can do the payments to the InstaMojo platform. And the functioning link between the InstaMojo and the you can say MSME is MasterCard. And MasterCard already committed rupees 250 crore in 2020 to support small businesses in India. And under this 250 crore rupees, they launched several initiatives such as growing digital payment awareness, providing low-cost digital and the physical acceptance solution. It also empowers small merchants, women entrepreneurs, and the Karyana stores or the local merchants with access to credit. So this is MasterCard and the InstaMojo. And remember recent related news about MasterCard and the Bank of Baroda Financial Solution, which is a fully owned subsidiary of Bank of Baroda, came together to launch world's first QR-based credit card or the debit card program, which is known as Con QR, a MasterCard QR on card solution to simplify digital payments of small and medium sized enterprises. So you have to remember, Bank of Baroda and MasterCard launched first QR based card. So very important, and the most important even question for the banking students. And remember about MasterCard, headquarters in New York, United States of America. CEO is Michelle Maybach. And Instamojo, headquarters in Bengaluru, Karnataka, and co-founder of Instamojo and CEO is Sampath Swine. Remember Sampad, only remember the name Sampad, or full name is Sampath Swine. So you can remember this. Now moving to next question. But you can also remember about MasterCard we covered, gig workers we covered, Instamojo we covered, and MasterCard. All things are covered now. Moving to next question. Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, also known as the GAME, and which organization joined hands to revive micro, small and medium enterprises suffered amid pandemic? It means you can say the entrepreneurs which are attached with the Global Alliance for the Mass Entrepreneurship can take financial services from this organization, which is known as SIDBI. So remember, it is Small Industries Development Bank of India. In simple word, you can say that in order to address the challenges faced by micro, small and medium enterprises due to COVID-19 and for their revival, a pact has been signed between the GAME, Global Alliance for the Mass Entrepreneurship, and the Small Industries Development Bank of India. And you can see here, it is GAME partners with the SIDBI to help MSMEs to revive businesses amid pandemic. And you can see here, at least 25% of the beneficiaries from the partnership would be women entrepreneurs. Again, there is a focus on the women empowerment and use of SIDBI financial schemes for formalization of enterprises. It means the financial services will be provided by SIDBI, and they will also do the Udyam registration as a unique ID for the MSMEs to assess schemes, and they will also enhance the credit access to micro enterprises. And both entities will also create online and offline campaigns related to the mass entrepreneurship development projects. It means the financial services can be provided to the MSMEs who are doing the registration under this partnership. And guys, remember, SIDBI promotes some of the India's largest MSMEs focused platform and schemes such as Credit Guarantee Fund Trust and the Micro Small Enterprise Scheme, and also the Trade Receivables Discounting System Receivable Exchange of India scheme. And GAME is a non-profit entity operating as a project under the Junior Achievement India Services, aims to create an environment for the mass entrepreneurship in India for the large scale job creation. So it is for the mass entrepreneurship for you can say for creating a job in the mass sector. So you can remember this, and remember about SIDBI. SIDBI was established in 1990, and it is operated under the Department of Financial Services under the Ministry of Finance. Chairman and Managing Director is S. Ramanan. Remember, S. Ramanan. And headquarters is in Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. So it is very important entity, especially for the Uttar Pradesh. And Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship headquarters is in Bengaluru, Karnataka, and it was established in 2018 for the job creation in the mass entrepreneurship. Moving to next question. What is the theme of MSME Day 2021? We are discussing so many questions related to MSME because the day was basically related to micro, small and medium enterprise. That's why so many initiatives were started by different organization or the financial institution. So guys, remember, MSME Day is basically celebrated on 27th of June. 27th of June. And why it is celebrated? It is to create awareness about the contribution of the micro, small and medium enterprises sector towards sustainable development and the global economy. And answer of this question, that the theme of this day of 2021 is MSME 2021, key to an inclusive and sustainable recovery, especially after the COVID-19. MSME sector is very important for every country. Even United Nations states that 90% of the businesses are generated from micro, small and medium enterprises, and this sector also provides around 70% of the employment, and around 50% of the gross domestic product is contributed by the MSME. So that's why it is very important sector for all over world. And guys, remember, the theme is MSME 2021, key to an inclusive and sustainable recovery. So you can see here, it is celebrated on 27th of June. Guys, you have to remember the other options here. Like you can see here the themes. Like first option, you can see we are a part of the solution. This is the theme of International Day of Biological Diversity. Biological diversity, which was celebrated on 22nd of May. Building a fairer, healthier world for everyone. It is the theme of World Healthy Day. World Health Day or World Healthy Day. and it is celebrated on 7th of April 2021. Restore Our Health, again very important day, International Mother Earth Day. International Mother Earth Day, and this day was celebrated on 22nd of April. 22nd of April. So remember all these options, again important here. Moving to next question. Who won Styrian Grand Prix 2021, which was happened in Austria? Maximum students are thinking about Lewis Hamilton, but Lewis Hamilton was ranked on the second position, and answer of this question is Max Verstappen. Again, the winner of this Styrian Grand Prix, which was happened in Austria, it won by Max Verstappen, and Max Verstappen belongs to which country? Netherlands, and Lewis Hamilton belongs to which country? Britain. So guys, remember third position goes to Valtteri Bottas, but don't remember third and second, just remember the first. It is Max Verstappen. You can see here Max Verstappen won the Styrian Grand Prix, which happened in Austria, and it is the Verstappen 14th career victory and 4th win in the 2020 session. You can see 4th win in the 2021 session. This is the first Emilia Romagna by the Max Verstappen. Second, you can see here is the Monaco, second one. Third is France, the last one, and now is the Styria. So these four are basically won by the Max Verstappen, and three, it means Lewis Hamilton is behind the Max Verstappen now. 1, 2, and 3. Out of these races, 3 are won by the Lewis Hamilton, 4 are won by the Max Verstappen, and 1 is won by Sergio Perez. This is the Azerbaijan. You have to remember especially this because this is odd one out. Sergio Perez won Azerbaijan. So now we are moving to next question, but remember all the F1 championships are organized by Fédération Internationale de Automobile, and this organization headquarters is in Paris, France. Moving to next question. Who wrote a book named as Growing Up Biden? So by default it is related to Joe Biden or one of the family member of the Joe Biden. So answer of this question is Valerie Biden Owen, or you can pronounce it as Valerie Biden Owen. So anything, my pronunciation can be wrong, but you have to remember the name Valerie Biden Owen, and she is sister of Joe Biden. So you can see here, she is a sister of Joe Biden, and you have to remember that this book is about the author's childhood as the only girl among the 4 siblings, and how her equation with her elder brother evolved over the years, and her tribalizing decades-long professional relationship with the Joe Biden. So remember, this book is written by the sister of Joe Biden named as Valerie Biden Owen, and who you have to remember this book is released in the will be released in April 2022, but now this is a title given under this book. But again, these books are very, very important. Like Dan Moraine, he wrote a very famous book about the very famous personality of United States of America, even the Vice President of United States of America, Kamala's Way, or the Kamala's Harris. So the book named is Kamala's Way, An American Life, written by Dan Moraine. It is related to Kamala's Harris. Next is Hunter Biden. The name is basically of the Joe Biden's son, and he wrote a book, Beautiful Things. Next is Ivan Osnos. He wrote a book about Joe Biden. So Joe Biden, an American Dreamer. So remember all these books because all these books are related to Biden family, or one book is related to Vice President of United States of America. It is Kamala Harris. Moving to next question, and it is from picture. Social Justice and Empowerment Minister Thawar Chand Gehlot launches website for Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan. So this website was launched by Thawar Chand Gehlot to commemorate the International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking, which we discussed already yesterday. And it is organized a 6-day Nasha Mukt Bharat Summit from 21 to 26th of June 2021. And the website for Nasha Mukt Bharat Abhiyan contains detailed information about the scheme and its activities. And it provides information, education and communication, resource material and information on institutions set up by the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment with the aim to drug demand reduction. And guys, remember, Drug Free India campaign or Nasha Mukt Bharat campaign was launched in 2020 on the Independence Eve, like 15th of August 2020, across 272 districts of India, which were found to be the most vulnerable districts in India for the drug uses. But you have to remember, the Minister of Social Justice and Empowerment is Thawar Chand Gehlot, constituency is Madhya Pradesh, and Minister of State is Shri Krishan Pal Gujjar, Shri Ramdas Athawale, Shri Ratan Lal Kataria. So don't remember this. Yes. Moving to next question. So all the most important and very important questions we covered. Now we are moving to very important important question section. You have to like this video. You have to share this video as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. And guys, you have to join our Telegram group from the description box link. And I'm requesting you, all the students who are watching this video, please like. It is the only motivation which you can give us. So here is the question. Central government extended the tenure of Attorney General of India, which is K.K. Venugopal, by how many years? So answer of this question is 1 year. And all students, I think, know that K.K. Venugopal is currently the Attorney General of India. And you have to remember, Attorney General of India is appointed by President of India on the advice of the Union Government or the Union Cabinet under the Article 76(1). Examiner will ask this article. You have to remember, under Article 76, Attorney General of India is appointed by the President of India, but only with the advice of the Union Cabinet. Tenure, there is no time period fixed according to the constitution. Attorney General will hold the office during the pleasure of the President. It means the time given by the President or signed by the President is the time period of the Attorney General of India. What is the eligibility to become the Attorney General? He must have been a judge of the High Court or two such courts at least for 5 years. It means he have to qualified for a judge of a high court, or he has been a judge of high court or more than 2 high courts for at least 5 years, or an advocate of some high court for 10 years, or an eminent jurist in the opinion of the president. So this qualification is as same as judge of Supreme Court. So same qualification is there. So functions: need to advise the government of India upon the legal matters that are referred by the president. Even in simple word, you can say that he is the legal guardian of government of India, and he need to represent the government of India in Supreme Court in reference by the president. And guys, remember, K.K. Venugopal was appointed as the 15th Attorney General of India. 15th Attorney General of India by replacing Attorney General Mukul Rohatgi in 2017. And his actual term was about 3 years. The earlier the term period was fixed by the president is 3 years. And this was the second time that the central government has extended the tenure of Attorney General. Because the earlier time period was till 2020, but due to pandemic, it was extended by 1 year till 2021. Now it was extended to the 2022. So remember, this is very, very important. Now we are moving to next question. What will be the new threshold turnover and borrowing limits according to revised definition of the small and medium companies? So recently SEBI and the Ministry of Corporate Affairs recently changed the definition of basically small and medium enterprises according to the borrowing limits and the threshold turnover. Now the turnover limit has been increased from 50 crore to not exceeding rupees 250 crore. This is threshold borrowing limit, not the borrowing limit, it is threshold turnover limit. And what is the borrowing limit? Earlier the borrowing limit was 10 crore rupees, but now it is up to 50 crore rupees. So answer of this question is A. Just remember the question as in slide. Don't remember anything else. This decision has taken to make the threshold turnover and borrowing limit as per the latest definition of the small medium companies as per the Ministry of Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, and it is to reflect the existing accounting standard under the Companies Act of 1956 in the 2013 Act. And guys, remember this, the turnover limit has been increased from 50 to 250 crore and the borrowing limit is increased from 10 crore to 50 crore for the small medium companies. And small medium companies should not be a bank, financial institution or an insurance company. This is the exemption under the small medium companies. And remember, turnover, if the turnover is less than 500 crore and the net worth of the company is less than 250 crore, the general purpose accounting standard of this Institute of Chartered Accountants of India apply, and rest of the companies will follow the Indian accounting standard. If the turnover is more than 500 crore and the net worth is more than 250 crore, then the company will have to follow the Indian accounting standard. And remember, Ministry of Corporate Affairs, Union Minister is Nirmala Sitharaman, constituency is Karnataka, and National Financial Accounting Authority or the Reporting Authority headquarters is in New Delhi. Now we are moving to the next question, but you can also see here the picture. Ministry of Corporate Affairs raised the threshold of the small and medium companies in updated accounting standard rules. So here is the last question and it is from the picture. It is the day which is known as World Allergy Week. It is not a day, it is basically World Allergy Week. It is observed on the 13th of June to 19th of 2021. So why this week is celebrated is to create awareness about the allergic diseases and related disorders. The day also advocates the provisions of training of resources in diagnosis, management and prevention of these diseases and asthma. And remember, the World Allergy Week is an annual initiative of the World Allergy Organization, which is situated in United States of America. And the theme of this World Allergy Week is anaphylaxis, be aware, be prepared and save lives. So you have to remember the keyword be aware, be prepared and save lives. Moving to next section, it is our one-liner important points. Kotak Mahindra Bank launched Pay Your Contact services in its mobile application. So you have to just read this Pay Your Connect service, and Pay Your Contact service is released by Kotak Mahindra Bank. This enables its customer to send money or make payments to any of their contacts across all payments application simply by the beneficiary's mobile number. So in simple word, you can say there is no requirement of account number or IFSC code or UPI address for the transactions. You can directly send the payments to the contacts. RBI extended the restriction on the PMC Bank till December 2021. So you have to remember, Punjab and Maharashtra Cooperative Bank, earlier the restrictions were till the you can say till the month of June 2021, but now it is extended till the December 2021. It means it is extended now for the 6 months. HDFC Banks acquired 7.4% stake in the Virtuoso Info Technology. Just read this, don't remember. HDFC Bank acquired 7.4% stake in the Virtuoso Info Technological Private Limited, which is Pune, Maharashtra based organization. HDFC Bank established in 1994. MD and CEO is Shashidhar Jagdishan. Tagline is "We understand your world" and chatbot name is Eva. Next is Pakistan remains in the Financial Action Task Force grey list. Guys, remember, Pakistan now remained in the grey list of the Financial Action Task Force. But you have to remember, FATF also placed Malta, a member of European Union, in the grey list along with the countries like Haiti, Philippines and the South Sudan. And guys, you can also remember that countries that are considered safe haven for supporting terror funding and money laundering are put in the FATF grey list. And the consequences are the problems in getting loans from the IMF, World Bank and the other international agencies, reduction in the international trade and the international boycott by the countries. This is the consequences of the grey list, and Pakistan currently in the grey list of this organization. Next, new plant species which is known as Sida or the Sida keralaensis, or with the name of the Kerala, identified from the wasteland of the Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. So you have to remember the name of this species, but otherwise this question is not so much important. Just remember the name of the plant species. It is Sid or Sida keralaensis, and it is identified from the wasteland of the Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. Next, National Insurance Awareness Day 2021 is celebrated on the 28th of June. Why this day is celebrated? It is just to create awareness about the importance of insurance and to encourage people to review their insurance policies. Now, we are moving to the question of the day. What was the question of 27th and 28th of June 2021? Question was very simple. Which section of the RBI Act state that the RBI has the exclusive right to issue currency notes in India? So guys, this question is very simple, but the question is most important question. So under section 22 of the RBI Act states that only the RBI has the exclusive right to issue currency notes in India, and they can issue the denomination till 10,000, denomination of till 10,000. So you can also remember the maximum they can issue 10,000 note. Now we are moving to the question of the day. Question of the day again very simple. What is the type of the banking which involves banking services for high net worth clients like corporate, commercial banks, mid-sized companies, etc.? This banking is known as what? So you have to answer me only in the comment box. I am waiting your answer. So please like this video, please share this video, and please subscribe this channel if you're new on this platform. This is the only motivation you can provide us. And guys, you can press this bell button and you can join our Telegram group for the further notification, and it is a Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. Definitely. You can subscribe our PDFs from the current affairs section from our application. Application downloading link is given in the description box, and you can subscribe for 1 year as well as for 2 years. You can also get the 10% extra discount if you use this code ASH10. And guys, don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy. Happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys. Take care and bye-bye.